moment for me. I saw a message on a forum, I went online and I watched millions of dollars just getting drained. This was a clear indication that we needed some sort of insurance for hacks. I grew up in Canberra, Australia. It was very egalitarian, very comfortable. You leave your door open. It's that type of place. You know, it's also very community driven. Looking back, that's kind of shaped, I guess, quite a few of my views. I played a lot of board games. I played a lot of card games. Maybe that's a stereotypical nerd. Started working for life insurance companies in Sydney. But I guess after about 10 years, it felt like it was time for a change. Took a year off and got on a plane and started doing a bit of travelling. The first place I went to was Peru, and I guess it was quite a bit different to obviously anything I'd been to before. I obviously have a lot of earthquakes and a lot of houses being destroyed. I was asking around, like, do people have insurance for this stuff? I mean, obviously that's my interest. The answer was no, and it did make me realise that there are, like, people behind the numbers. Today's insurance companies are really shareholder driven, quite distant from the end customer. I've started thinking about taking insurance all the way back to its roots of that cooperative or community-driven approach. I guess I discovered Bitcoin relatively early. Bought a few coins back then, put a few $100s in it. Then I heard about Ethereum. That's when I really started thinking about Nexus. I guess the reason I wanted to build something insurance related on the blockchain, because I knew that was the value that I could add to the ecosystem. But one of the things I'd always been struggling with was, what's the product going to be? What are we going to sell? And then the DAO hack happened. The DAO is a pooled investment fund. I could see the money coming out minute by minute. Millions of dollars just getting drained. I realised that if the technology was going to be successful, then we needed to have some sort of insurance product to protect against the hacking risk. I knew what Nexus was about. I had the vision for it. I thought about it for probably 18 months. I didn't necessarily go out wanting to be a solo founder, but decided that might as well give it a shot. I'm actually reasonably good at having a big picture view, but also getting into the detail. And this kind of felt like the moment to at least express my ideas to a wider audience. 2017, DevCon, the Ethereum Developer Conference, was in Cancun. Without a ticket to DevCon, decided to fly to Cancun for one day to do a 20-minute presentation. Everyone was telling me I was a bit crazy.
The stage is yours, Hugh. So what is Nexus Mutual about?
I was a little bit nervous, but I met a whole bunch of the Ethereum community, blockchain OGs as it were. And that led directly to our seed round being raised. And we partnered with Chainlink because you need what are called oracles or data to tell you what's happening in the outside world.
Thank you so much, Hugh. Thank you.
I felt like after that presentation that everyone was really, really keen to talk to me. It was probably one of the best things I did. Once we got to launch, things were looking great. We were getting some traction, but I think I was very naive going into it. During the bear market of 2018 and into 19, we definitely went through some challenging times in Nexus. We're getting to the point where we're running out of money, basically. It was definitely really hard. I took a personal loan out. I had to get rid of half the team. It was just a really extremely sickening feeling. Like I physically had trouble walking around. But as an actuary, you project out what's going to happen in the future on a financial basis. And the projections we're talking about are 40, 50, 60, 70 years long. And so I very naturally have a very long-term view on things. The short-term nature of crypto is very distracting. And being able to have a long-term focus is critical if you're going to make success of something in the longer term. Nexus is at a really interesting point right now. What we're trying to build is that old way of doing things where a community comes together, shares risk, becomes more resilient as a society, and works together on their own terms. What excites me about the technology or blockchain is really its open nature, that anyone can participate. It's the same rules for everyone. It's very egalitarian. I guess, that kind of goes back to how I grew up.
Tip of the hat for Hugh. Blood, sweat, and tears to build something that he's passionate about.
They almost shut down. Glad he kept on building.
One of the really important things for what we want to take Nexus to is impact on the real world. Earthquake coverage in Peru, or whatever it is, but actually get outside the specific Web3 world into the real world, because fundamentally this technology can really change things.